My name is Laura Savage, and I'm a member of the Hartford Garden Friends, and this is Lynn Bohai and Barb
Hello.
Reed, and they're members too, and we're going to do a show exploring what the Hartford Garden Friends is and where we've come since we were founded, and we did a show in 2011, and we wanted to do an update. So that's what this show is all about. Now, I've been a member for about 7 to 8 years, and I enjoy doing the gardens, and I highly promote people who are interested in gardening to get out and join these garden clubs and the Hartford Garden Friends, because we need more members and for next year to help with the gardens around Hartford, and it's a very pleasurable and enhancing experience. And it started in 1991, and the purpose is to stimulate knowledge and love of gardening, participate in civic beautification, and promote conservation and friendship. So I'd like to turn the show over to Lynn and Barb. They have more to say, and let them do some talking, and we'll just talk about the Hartford Garden Friends.
Okay.
Which is a nice subject.
It is. So I wasn't there in the beginning, but Paul Bennett and Victor Rubedy started it. They both had huge gardens at home, and I don't remember which one of them got the idea that we ought to do this around town, but I do know that they got in somebody's car and drove around town looking to find pretty gardens. And then they would stop and talk to the people and sort of twist their arms until they joined.
Yeah.
They sort of wouldn't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
When they found a nice garden that they liked and they found a person that they wanted to have join them. Anyway, so as you said, that was 1991. And they were thinking about their name, and they, you know, the others are garden clubs, but they wanted to call it Garden Friends because they wanted a more of a sense of community. Some of the garden clubs are have programs and do teas and that kind of thing, and other ones around here hire people to do the gardens. And the Hartford Garden Friends is a group of people, volunteers, who just like gardening and want to spend time with their friends. So all the gardens are on public land. That's one of our requirements, that it be public land.
That's very interesting. I didn't know the whole story behind all that. That's very interesting.
Good.
Some people have wanted us to help them out with their window boxes in front of businesses and whatnot. And then there's a lot we'd love to do in town, but you can't always do it because, number one, it's not on public land. And number two, as you referred to, volunteers, we can only do as much as the volunteers we have can do.
We have
So you can't really help businesses out and go that far to put boxes out for businesses and stuff.
No, if a particular member wants to help a particular business, they can do that on their own time.
Okay.
But not as a garden friend. And the business, well, they'd have to work out who was going to do the upkeep of the garden, because it will not be a Hartford Garden Friends garden.
That's good, because people have asked me, why isn't there a Garden Friends thing here, you know? And it's basically because I didn't know the answer. But that's not what the Garden Friends do. That's all I could say.
Being well, we're an organized group in that we have a constitution and bylaws and policies.
Wow.
And one of the policies is that it always has to be on public land. And the other policy that I'm aware of is that we will not add a garden unless we have a person to garden that garden. So that's the reason that you can give somebody who asks you, why don't you have one here? Because we don't have enough members.
The other thing, having mentioned businesses, the other side of that is that we're funded in large part by a lot of the businesses in and around Hartford, as well as individuals, many individuals that give us donations.
True.
So they have been a big help to us, and a lot of people really appreciate our gardens. One of the fun things about doing the gardens is all the people that stop. Either stop if you're by a sidewalk or wave and toot as they drive by and tell us how wonderful our gardens are and how much they love them. And often we get requests for directions too. And we serve a purpose there in directing people to nearby restaurants and whatnot.
Well, we must be local.
Yes, yes.
Either that or crazy wackos.
Yeah,
I have been known to,
Yeah,
in Texas, pull a weed or two because it just looked awful, but
yeah.
that was just
Oh,
craziness. So going back to, we're an organized group. We have meetings once a month, starting in April.
We start in April, and we go until October, basically, because a lot of our members are, I guess the term is snowbirds, tend to head south for the winter. They're older folks. And our dues are only $10 a year, which is not bad, in my opinion.
We meet on the third Thursday of every month.
Yes.
Of
From
I'm sorry, of those
7
months that we meet.
Right.
We're currently meeting at the Upper Valley Haven, one of their 2 buildings. We sometimes have speakers, and those are open to the public.
And we have a wonderful potluck in July.
Yes.
That is a lot of fun. That's the July meeting.
We do 10 minutes worth of business.
Well, yes, we do.
Not that it ever sort of feels like business.
Right.
It's talking about, gee, this year we haven't had to water. This year we didn't have to water. It rained just at the right times.
Yes, it was a great year for that.
Or we talk about, and how many slugs do you have in your garden?
Yes.
Did your, whatever it was, grow? I can't get mine to grow.
Yeah.
Whatever. Talk about, it's more like gardening problems, which is the point of Garden Friends.
Yes.
Talk with your friends about gardens.
Exactly. And you don't have to be an expert to be a part of the Garden Friends at all. I came in not knowing a whole lot about flowers. I did vegetable gardening. So if you're thinking about joining but think that you don't know a whole lot about it, it's no big deal. We can always put someone with another, maybe more experienced gardener.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I didn't at that time I joined have space at home to do flowers, but I had my vegetable garden. And I still don't know much about about flowers, but I make them grow.
Yes. My sister happens to be a graduate at Thompson School of Agriculture down at UNH, so she's my hidden flower expert that I go to and get advice from.
Nice.
But so it's like we've been through.
You should require a course for gardening before you join, or offer one.
A couple of our
We
members
could.
took the Master Gardener class.
Yeah, that was
Carol Hanel did, and she left.
Where was this, in Dartmouth?
No, here in the Upper Valley. Sylvia Provost
Yes.
did it,
Okay.
taught it, and
Okay.
I know Carol took it. I'm not sure who else. That might have been before my time.
Yeah. The
When that-
woman I'm thinking of
Yeah.
took it and left.
Yeah.
Left the area. So as you were saying, you don't have to be a perfect gardener to join, because yes, some of us work alone, but some work in pairs, and it's up to you and your skill level and your comfort level.
The other thing I was going to talk about is over the past few years, past couple of years really, we've gone through a transition of, for a couple of reasons. One is our members are starting to get older and find they can't continue to keep up the gardens. The other thing is that the state of Vermont decided to enforce the federal safety guidelines on us for people that are working in the road. on the state highways, which some of our gardens are, like the rock, what we call the rock garden by the interstate. As you get off the interstate there, where there's always some kind of a mannequin or statue of a lady dressed up in various outfits for the season. I think a lot of you that come off that exit have seen it. Whereas we have to have safety vests, which is fine, as well as the cones around our cars and a flashing yellow light, which is really good at draining your battery down, I found one day.
Nice.
So, and some people took offense to that. They also said we could no longer have hoses across the road. So some of our members took offense to that and felt that it made it a greater hardship to do the gardens. So they decided not to do their gardens anymore. So rather than totally lose them, we decided to turn them into perennial beds that would not need as much care.
Them
Yes.
being the gardens as
The
opposed
gardens.
to, we did
As
not lose the gardens, we lost the members.
Yes, we did not
Which
turn
is
the
a
members
problem.
into perennial beds. We turned the gardens into perennial beds, yes.
We can't turn members into perennials?
No, we can't. So so that's one of the changes we have done. So that, and we are continuing to look for new members to help us out, and if somebody takes an interest in one of these beds and wants to turn it back into an annual bed, that's always a possibility.
But more and more of the beds are going to a mixed perennial and
yes.
annual.
Makes it a little bit easier.
The one that I do has sort of always been set up that way, and it's kind of nice. I get to change the way it looks every year, but there's always that mainstay that is always there. Which is
And
kind of nice.
what, you want to mention what bed?
I do the public works bed on Airport Road, sort of, I call it my hidden garden, because it's tucked away, and I never get anybody asking for directions. But you're right, when I was at the high school before it got redesigned,
Yes.
I'd get a lot of directions and thank yous and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And that is kind of nice.
Yeah, definitely. I've been doing the garden outside of the Tip Top building by the sidewalk for quite a few years now.
Looked nice this year. You had
it did.
interesting things in there.
Yeah, actually, the colors were some that I did in a window box I had at home. And I thought, wow, I actually have something right here. Talk about inexperience. So I decided to carry that over to my garden this year, and I think it came out pretty good.
Nice.
And I wanted to do it there. My own personal reason was because I really like what's happening with the Tip Top building, with all the artists that are in there and whatnot, and I really wanted to do a little bit of something to help support that and add to that. So, and you,
Go ahead.
I was just going to, you, Laura, have been working on the
I've been working on the one by the Hartford Municipal Building that was being torn down all summer.
Yeah.
You can see it, but it's hidden away. And
Yeah.
another member, Claire, does the other side. And we put in some new flowers, and most of them are, what are they called? Perennials that come up every year.
Yep.
And what we're doing for next year is putting in new flowers and took out some old ones and going to change the bed around. And that's where the plaque is for about with the founder of
Paul
Paul
Hartford,
Bennett. Yes. Yes.
And what I noticed is that the flowers were fine, and some people come by and there's a seat and they might leave trash, which I don't like, but I pick it up, and they might go in the middle of the night through the garden because they're partying in the summer. But
Yes.
my problem was weeds, a
Yes.
lot of weeds, and Claire was very nice. She said you don't have to get them all up, but I wanted to just you couldn't see all of them, but there were some in there, and
Yep.
it's just a big garden, and I enjoy doing it. As we talk now, I really miss those days.
You did an awesome job. It was beautiful.
did.
You
Yeah.
think
You
so?
really
Well,
did.
it's only
Absolutely.
beautiful because it's beautiful, I think.
Well, yeah. Well, getting the
Thanks, I
weeds out of there is a
appreciate
big
that.
part
Thank
of
you
it.
very much.
Yes.
But I enjoyed doing that. But the minute I saw, you see the gardens at the end of March, and they're all muddy.
Right.
Beginning of
Right,
April, then you see
right.
some weeds come up, and that's when I think you should start weeding the garden
Oh, yes.
and getting
You're
them
right.
all out before they start growing.
Yeah.
I've made
idea.
the mistake the last couple of years of waiting too long, and it's like basically I had to sift through all the soil to get all the gardens,
Yeah.
and get all the weeds out and all the low roots.
And another point about the Hartford Garden Friends that I notice is I'm getting older, but I notice I'm the youngest member of the Hartford Garden Friends. So I might be, you know, a little left out that way. So, and I wish somebody my
More
age or
younger age,
younger
yep.
would join.
Yeah,
Sure,
that'd be nice.
sure.
Yeah.
And I guess we should probably talk about how to join. We do have a pamphlet here that talks about our garden that we'd be glad to send to you. I'm going to give you my phone number. I'm the incoming president. Lynn
Oh,
is,
you are, okay,
Lynn is the outgoing president.
okay.
My phone number is 802. No, it's not.
603 is what I dialed this
603.
morning.
603-252-0596. I don't know if you can put that up on the screen or not.
Okay, we'll write that down.
Okay.
Yeah.
And people can call me and leave a message, and I can get a brochure to you, or we can talk about becoming a member. And I think at one of the upcoming events in the spring, I'm not sure, we haven't decided, I don't know whether it's going to be town meeting,
Voting day.
voting day. We'll probably be somewhere around at a table.
Right.
So if you're thinking about it, have been thinking about it, just come to our table and talk to us. Or you can call me, and as I said, we can
Or they
talk
could
more.
send a note to the post office box.
Yes, that's right. It's also Hartford Garden Friends, P.O. Box 884, Wilder, Vermont 05088.
We'll try to put that on the screen and
That
call
would be
Barb
great.
Reed if you're interested in
Yep.
joining or helping out, contributing.
And we usually
And this
have
is nonprofit, so,
Right.
you know.
Oh, yes,
Right.
very much so.
we usually have a on the Sunday volunteers page in the Valley News. We're usually listed, I think, with Claire's phone number
Okay,
from when she was president.
okay.
We might want to.
We'll change that,
Change
yeah.
that one.
I'll see about getting it hold of them.
Maybe next year we put a big posters on the bulletin boards. Or at the
That's a
Haven. The
thought.
Haven
Sure.
might want.
Sure.
Excuse me.
Sure. That's a good
Actually,
idea.
they did, some of the master gardeners, when they took that class, they did gardening with the Haven.
Oh,
So I think what we really want to emphasize is that we would like new members.
Absolutely.
And it's fun. It's not,
mm-hmm,
It is fun.
yes.
if you don't like weeds, it's,
Maybe
well,
not
if you
me,
like
so-
weeds, it might not be the right thing. But if you don't like weeds, it's great.
Yes, right, yes. Yeah, it's. I really enjoy doing it, and again, it doesn't matter at what experience level you're at. It really doesn't.
No.
Just come right along, and if you want to work with someone, or we can put you with someone anyway, regardless. And we have a good time. We have a good time at our meetings, and
We do.
it's a lot of fun.
The meetings are fairly short. I mean, we don't have,
From 7 to 8, yeah.
right,
And we try to adhere to that so it doesn't take up a lot of your time, only once a month.
right. Your garden might want you a little more often
Yes.
than once a month. But
Probably, I would say, after you get it planted, probably about, I'm thinking about an hour a week
yeah, it's about
to
right.
just kind of keep on top of the weeds and,
But even if
and
you
to
just,
water if you need to.
if it's near your house, you can go for 10 minutes a day and
Yeah.
5 minutes a day. And,
Yeah,
you know, it's totally your schedule.
absolutely.
Um, So join us by calling Barb,
Yep.
by writing to the P.O. Box 884 in Wilder, 05088, or following the volunteer in the Valley News on Sunday. Any of those things will
Get you to us.
get you some more friends.
Yes.
If you're new to the Valley, you might want to meet some people.
Yeah. It's a
That's
nice
a
way
very
to do
good
it.
idea, yeah.
That's a very good way to do it.
Okay, well, I guess that's about it. And have a nice winter, and
See,
think
we'll
about
be-
us next spring if you want to do some outside gardening for your community.
We'll be back in April.
Yep,
See you
okay,
then.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.